ladders. Just have to maybe leave the rehearsal a little early or something.
Property of Matt Walsh. Wallsend Memorial Hall, room 30. Contact via Gary Madden, building manager.
How long have you been in here, Matt?
2 years. 2 years in here. And it's served its purpose. Like the people that run the building are sound. And special mention to Gary Madden, who's been absolutely lovely. Just really like enabled us to do loads of stuff. When we've needed to do critical recording, we've gone and hired recording studios. Otherwise, we've just done 90% of the rest of it we've done in here by hook or by crook. So it's just a bit weird now because like I've been really looking forward to moving out, frankly. Again, regardless of how sound Gary's been and the people in the building like move it upstairs, move it studios, and how much of a crease it's been being in Wallsend and working here. It's been difficult. It's been difficult because of the noise and working around that. Trying to, when you're engineering and you're like listening into stuff and trying to really hear something, and your mate's lent you $3,000 barefoot speakers, but you can just hear the entire world. Like, yeah, it's been hard. So I've been looking forward to moving out and like getting set up and next chapters and everything like that. But now that I'm moving out, I'm like, oh God, it's been. It's like anything, isn't it? The endings, they're always a bit sad. But you just gotta, move forwards.
As long as it's moving forwards.
Yeah, exactly. Onwards and upwards.
Well, I could just say, if you're going to come here, we're not here anymore.
It's room 30.
Yeah, so it's room 3. Yeah. I'll leave a skeleton key under the mat for the whole building. We're in Wallsend Memorial Hall, in Wallsend, obviously, at room 30, where the entirety of the Embers EP was essentially sculpted out and turned into what we now hear and play live as my brand new EP, my brand new Embers EP. Broken Game was essentially a song that instantly became a song that just undoubtedly needed to be on the EP the minute that it was kind of finished, even in its very initial form. I did first ever writing session with Chad Rogers. From the very first sort of minor chords, it was the key of G minor, that Chad was pedaling through some chords that I essentially just really liked. I think it was probably, this rarely happens as well, but like the first few chords that he was playing, started instantly hearing something over the top of it. Because it eventually became quite, what you hear in the song now. What you hear in the song now is the. But I think at the very start we were just kind of pedaling through chords. And I just instantly felt a vibe to it, whether it was just because of the whole key of it or anything, but instantly just. And it almost, when I say it kind of came all at once with a real feel and a real mood to it. It definitely did. I think it was essentially all started by the chords that were played. I don't think we even had tried any other thing, anything else either. This is what I mean when it says it rarely happens. It rarely do you get in some form of session or coming up with an idea and just play the first chord and be like, yeah, right, we've got a song. One of the things I do remember is the chord coming to like a pre-chorus. Leave all alone in the spoon. That I remember distinctly of me just thinking, I just came up with that on the spot, and then Chad loving it because it was so interesting to go for that, because it was we were essentially coming up with this quite contemporary song, and then I just House of the Rising sunned it out of nowhere, which was like not copying them essentially, but you know that it gave it that House of the Rising Sun feel. I don't know where that came from, but yeah. Anyone who knows House of the Rising Sun will know what I'm talking about there. Yeah, I think one of my other favourite things about building it out was taking it from... Imagine if that fell over. Taking it from throwing all of these different backing vocal ideas together in the time that I had with Chad, throwing them all in. All of these different, right, let's just throw whatever we can come up with in, and then think, right, this is really gives a real nice feel for the song, and then being able to come here with Matt and then be like, right, what works the best? What can we add in that's gonna really elevate this, and what can we concrete in for this song to really give it some welly. I've had an amazing working relationship with Matt, where we've worked together that many times for that long. It's like that Spider-Man meme. So I think I could honestly bring anything in to Matt, and he'd just be kind of looking at it from my perspective anyway. It's almost like to describe it to people who, you know, have nothing to do with songwriting at all, which I imagine is a lot of people. It would be, if we had a bakery, it would be like essentially having a bit of a, you'd have a product, wouldn't you? You'd have right, we're gonna make this cake in 5 hours, let's just see what we can do, and you just go bang, 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 and cover this cake and all the toppings and stuff. Now that's the most amazing cake I've ever seen. It's like, it's not quite ready to be put out to the public, is it, in the shop window? So how about me and you take that cake, we'll get rid of these sprinkles and everything, and we'll figure out what we love about it and what works best, and then we'll put them all back on very neatly, ready to be put in the shop window out into the world. It's a terrible analogy, but you know. Well, we moved on with it, and I was doing a lot of work with Matt, brought it to this very room in Wallsend. We've been basically doing a lot of, we'd already done a lot of the demoing and even the recording at this point for the rest of the songs on the EP. And then it was just even more fun, I think, taking Broken Game from a writing session that I'd done with Chad, and we'd mapped out and kind of flung loads of ideas at, and then me and Matt essentially having the time and the creative space to then be able to really sculpt it out and build this song into something that, you know, the best it could possibly be on the EP. I think it was, yeah, really fun to map out specific BVs. I think it was a real advancement for me with this song in my sound as well, and just the level of my releases kind of felt like it really went up a Broken Game. Even on the way here today, I had messages off people on social media saying, I've just heard your new song on Radio 2, Sarah Cox's show. So it's still nice to see, as I'm filming this, it's still very much in campaign mode and getting out there. And, you know, this entire, it just fit really well on the Embers EP. It's mad to be in this room and, you know, think that the music made in it over quite a short period of time, if you think about it, is you nearly hit 500,000 streams across Apple Music and Spotify. From a small room in Wallsend. So this track essentially became called, I think it was just at the end of the session with Chad, and he was like, what should we call it? And then I think it was just inevitable that it should be called Broken Game, because it's not really a generic kind of name he'd have for a song. My favourite part about this entire song as well was probably getting to write and build out all of the parts that you now hear in the finished recorded song with Matt, because there was so many cool ideas that just elevated it and elevated it and elevated it, and it was so cool to take it from an already amazing place with a great writing session that I had with Chad to then kind of just come at it with a real sort of tenacity, involved creatively with making sure everything kind of fit together like a jigsaw. And that's my favourite part, not only about Broken Game, but about everything we do. Playing it live has become real fun as well, especially with, you know, the work that me and Matt did on the backing vocals to then bring them to life, especially the female backing vocals, to bring them to life and elevate the song and play this song live has been amazing as well. Yeah, we were essentially on tour with Stereophonics around Europe, and Adam posed the idea in the van because we were spending a lot of time together, a lot of hours in the van traveling around. That, you know, we didn't really have a concept or an idea for what we wanted to do for the music video for Broken Game, and it just kind of felt natural as well, and a great idea that we film it on tour. We film it out and about. We're in multiple cities all across Europe. You never really get a chance to combine creating something like a music video whilst you're, you know, amongst heavy touring. So it was like almost like we knew it was going to be a little bit difficult to do, and especially around the schedule that we had of traveling, sound check, load-ins, load-outs, playing the gigs, hotels. But we were like, you know what, we could pull this off easily, and yeah, we should go for it. And it was in Strasbourg on a day off when we were like, let's get to work and get the first, you know, filming bits for the video done. I had a few pints as well because it was a bit of time off as well during the tour. I think the Champions League final was on. Just filled me with a bit of Dutch courage out in the public to prop myself right in front of the cathedral while a lot of, you know, hundreds of people were walking past, and just start to sing the song. And I'm really glad with the outcome and what we got and stuff. You kind of realise how chaotic it can get as well, filming in public, because there's people here, there's people there, not even realising, to be honest, that we're filming a music video and they're like here, they're in the video, which is mad, really. It's like, what? I think not even being pious towards myself. I think, you know, it's in Strasbourg, the cathedral, the most beautiful cathedral is behind me. I'm in the middle of this busy street. It cuts to two guys in there peering out of a window, wondering what we're doing, and then just, yeah, really cool. And then it was, we thought about getting some more angles, some different shots, and then we saw a carousel, and it was a no-brainer that we need to use that. I didn't want to I wanted to just jump at it and make use of everything that we could see or find there. I paid €6. I paid like €3 each for us for a token to go on the carousel. It was really fun just to be spiralling round this carousel, singing Broken Game on a horse that props up and down. In the video, I just thought it was an amazing shot. Any chance we got, we try to get, you know, squeeze in as much footage as possible. I think we were outside the Palace in Madrid. We were at the most beautiful park in Leon. Yeah, and then there's also like montage bits as well. On this entire tour, I was doing a lot of mini vlogs from each venue, each location, and we ended up montaging a lot of that behind the scenes footage over the top. So it became a really unique video that, yeah, just had the most fun filming. Definitely my favourite music video I've done so far. Yeah, Fading was essentially a song I'd written in a writing session months and months before any of the releases to do with Embers. Not even, you know, essentially a song that I thought would be going on the EP until I'd listened back to it. I knew it wanted to be a bit of a ballad or a bit of a slower tune, just in comparison to what we already had in Broken Game, Feels Like, and Long Nights. And then I remember talking about it with my manager Chelsea, talking about it with the label as well, and even like proposing a couple more writing sessions and maybe trying to come up with a ballad, because I've been doing plenty of it, and it was mad because I had loads of songs, but then none of them really felt like the fit on Embers. Felt like it's something for the future. And then I remember thinking about this writing session I'd done with AJ Wonder and James Phillips in London. Just again, spur of the moment, went down to London and had a great time just writing. AJ's really talented on keys, writes a lot of great songs on keys, and he essentially had these chords to begin with, and we'd written that ballad, and I remember going back through my emails thinking, I wrote a song called Fading, which would be perfect for the end of this EP. It's called Embers. It's kind of metaphorically, the whole EP is metaphorically using embers as a metaphor for life and the emotions and turmoil you go through and the journey of it all. And it felt like a really good finish. I remember sending it to Chelsea after I'd listened to it thinking, this is amazing. It's a perfect fit, and I didn't even think about it to begin with, because I just thought it was essentially a great song that I'd written in a great session, and if not for me, would work for someone else. But then as time went on, left it for a bit, went back to it, and it was a great fit, and I'm really glad it was, you know, it was there and available for me to use, and no one else had used it.
That's what you want, so we'll stand by.